What's going on, everybody? Welcome to T-Box Talk, episode 31. My name is Andrew, and as always, joined today by Josh and Will. Today on the podcast, going to be going over some golf stuff, some football recap, going to go into some show and tell, and then we're going to do our stand-up / observations. We're going to kind of mix together the stand-up segment with the Larry David from the T segment. Try to get some conversation starters going. Should be a great time. Thank you for joining us. And weekend roundup. Let's get right into it. Will,
what's going on? So I had a great weekend. Ended up going to Salem for the weekend with Marissa. It's our 2-year anniversary. So we had a lot of fun. Went to a really wacky cidery place called Far From the Tree. Had a pretty crazy cider there. It was like jalapenos, green peppers, and kiwi. Not a spice guy, but it actually was really good. We had a nice dinner at the Ledger too. I don't know if anyone's ever been to Salem, but that's a great restaurant right in the heart of things. And I ended up running into a friend from college. We're coming back in from dinner, and I'm Marissa and I have obviously had a few drinks, and he's coming out of the elevator, and I'm walking into the elevator, and I look up, and I'm like, damn, that's definitely my buddy Matt. And as I'm saying that, Marissa walks straight into the elevator door, just absolutely gets mutilated by the elevator door. And sorry, Marissa, I have to tell the story. I know you listen to the podcast, but it literally her shoulder was jacked up from it, and she had shoulder pain. Yeah.
Oh,
so I don't think it's the first time it's happened, unfortunately. But so that was pretty funny. He DM'd me as we're walking back out, and he's like, Will, this is really fucking weird. But he's like, did I just see you at the Hotel Salem? And I was like, yeah, that was me. I was like, I knew that was fucking you. I'm like, sorry, my girlfriend walked into the elevator door. Yeah, I had to keep things moving. And then we got back on Sunday and did absolutely nothing, just cooked and ate food all day.
That's so funny.
A couple questions about Salem. Is it still super packed like it was over October, or has it calmed down?
I mean, I've never been there in October. I mean, it was clearly mobbed in October. I mean, getting there and had never been there before, I thought it was really busy for technically the off season. I mean, it took us 45 minutes to find parking. We ended up parking in a garage. It was fine. I mean, we only paid $25 for 24 hours. So it really wasn't that expensive. I expected it to be more. But yeah, I mean, it was busy during the day, but I mean, once the sun goes down and if you're not staying there, everyone kind of clears out. So, and Sunday was dead. I mean, I have a picture from Sunday. We went out and got breakfast in the morning. Literally not a soul out walking the streets.
So I know, Josh, you're a big Salem family, right? You guys like going to Salem?
Yeah, absolutely.
So has Salem in the last couple of years become a nationwide tourist attraction? Is that why it's becoming overpopulated and stuff?
Yeah, what happened was 2 years ago during COVID, they came out with Hubie Halloween. And then this year they rebooted Hocus Pocus 2, which was filmed partially in Boston in Salem. But the trick is about Salem, the thing that's weird for me is when you think about Salem, having never been there, in your head, you're probably thinking houses and a town that's it looks like what you think Salem would look like.
What I think of when I think of Salem, from what I've heard of it, I think about Newport, but Halloween style.
Yeah,
know?
Unfortunately, Salem is more of, not unfortunately, but realistically, it's more of a city than it is anything else. I mean, it's not really it's a small place, but the buildings are more developed. I mean, there's only I think one house that's still there, and it's
so it's modernized. It's not what
wicked modernized.
It's modernized. They're the outskirts outside of downtown Salem. You'll see a lot of that historic Salem that a lot of people have come to know. We saw houses that were built in the 1700s. For example. But I mean, once you get into downtown, it's a lot of restaurants, a lot of shops.
That's interesting, Will. I don't know that I ever really went on the outskirts the more I think about it.
Well, we got lost getting there. So we got a nice little scenic tour.
Nice.
But yeah, I mean, on our way out, we drove slow on our way out. And I'm big into that. And Marissa's big into that Halloween type stuff too. And I mean, the first thing Marissa said when we got there was Hubie Halloween. This is where Hubie Halloween was filmed.
Yeah.
And selfishly, I actually love that movie. So
me too.
I've never seen that movie.
So funny.
It's the new Adam Sandler.
Absolutely
movie, right?
hilarious.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say it's new, but
a couple years old. Yeah. Josh, take it away. What'd you do this weekend?
Unfortunately, about a boring weekend for me. I mean, I was gonna go to New York and do that whole thing, but I I ended up spending 3 days inside going through financial information.
Sounds electric.
Very exotic weekend.
It was not your ideal 24-year-old like go have a singular bachelor bash on the weekend. It was more intense than that.
Well, this is what you get for starting a company.
Yeah.
Josh got in bed with the numbers this weekend.
Yeah, I got in bed with the numbers this weekend.
Any Call of Duty action?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's funny, dude. I was thinking about this more and more. Is like sometimes you feel like you're wasting time on video games. I mean, maybe even not sometimes, maybe all the time. But one thing I'll note is like, especially for someone who's like a starving entrepreneur or someone who, you know, is working up towards something. It's like, dude, there's no better and cheaper form of entertainment than video games.
Yeah, you just literally turn your mind off and just all focus on the video game.
Yeah, you become like, you go into like the flow state when you play it, and it does waste a lot of time. Don't get me wrong. Like, you really are just burning your life away when you play. But at the same time, like, the equivalent spend, like, had I gone to New York this weekend, I'd have dropped $500
easily.
Like, not hard to do. I mean,
no, that's like a bacon, egg, and cheese and lunch.
Yeah. So like, I love those cities, and I would go there more, or when I can, if and when I can go there or afford it to go there, I will go there a lot more. But man, I Call of Duty's been holding me up, dude. I've been really entertained by it recently.
I've been loving it. It's one of those games, Will, I don't know if you've played it yet, but like you go match to match so fast, like there's no time in between matches to like set yourself back. So you're just constantly playing. Like last night, I was playing with Josh and all of our friends, and you know, it's like 6 p.m. We all get on, you know, play for a couple hours. Josh leaves to get dinner for the night, and he probably was going to stay up. He gets back on at like 10:15, 10:20, and I'm still playing. It's like, Coochie, Jesus Christ, did you even like eat dinner or anything? I was like, and like it, like I looked at my phone for the first time in a while. I was like, oh my God, I've been playing for like 5 hours straight right now.
Yeah.
I haven't played the new one yet, but I mean, I was right in the heat of high school when the last Modern Warfare 2 came out, and I would get home from soccer practice at like 4:30, 5 o'clock. I would play straight until 1 o'clock in the morning or whenever my mom's banging on the door for me to go to bed, because I would not get out of bed in the morning. It'd be like 7 a.m. I've been up till 2 playing Modern Warfare. You know, it was a good old days.
It's a weird thing because those video games are super goal oriented.
Yeah.
And actually, there was a guy I knew in college, or a professor, and he was like, he promoted the idea that video games actually create more successful people. Because when you play video games, you become goal-oriented. That's what drives you to, like, Andrew is obsessed with trying to level guns up to, like, goal and, like, meaningless things like that. Yeah, but that's, like, that's how he enjoys the game and whatnot. So it's been a lot of fun. But I also went to go see, dude, for the first time in my life, I went to Providence, and I went to the IMAX theater.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, my dad and I went together, and we
see Black Panther, I'm assuming?
We watched Wakanda Forever, and
how was it?
Dude, Iron Man 1 will always reign supreme as my favorite Marvel movie ever made. But I think that movie might be like top, like maybe 2 or 3 for me.
Wow,
yeah.
That's a lot coming from you. You're a big Marvel
I know,
guy.
and because here's the thing, like movies like Doctor Strange are so cool and so fantastic, but they did not capture the emotional grab that this movie had over me, because there's a mixture of real life and the movie with this as well, because T'Challa, who was
Chadwick Boseman
had passed away right before the filming of this. And so his story is intertwined with the movie of it, like the real life Chadwick Boseman, you know, passing away. And so, like, I've never had tears coming down my eyes as much as I did in that movie. And I sound like a pussy right now, but you go and try and watch it, dude. It's literally one big fucking cry fest. It's insane.
But it's good.
Yeah, it's super good. I mean, there's holes in the plot, like any Marvel movie, but, you know, it was great. And honestly, in IMAX was actually, IMAX was an experience in and of itself.
I've never seen a movie in IMAX.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I mean, have you?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I saw Jackass 4 in IMAX.
Oh, that must have been fun.
That's unreal.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I've never been
You just
to an
can't
IMAX
sit too
theater.
close to the screen, which we kind of did.
Is it like painful in the eyes, or
yeah, the way they set it's a more vertical arena. I think they didn't have as much room in that movie theater because it's in a mall.
What makes an IMAX so different? Is
the screen is curved, the audio is Atmos surround sound, so like it's the max I think surround sound they can provide.
It's almost scary.
Yeah.
Like the surround sound, like it's loud.
It is.
I have heard people say before they don't like IMAX because it's like too loud and too.
Well, those
big.
people are pussies. It's fucking. It's a great experience.
Say people that wear earplugs at concerts.
No, I will never understand that, dude. Anyways, that's a great weekend, Josh. Well, not really, but
I mean, it is great, just not in the hey, I had a fun weekend.
Yeah.
More like, hey, I had a productive weekend, like a fucking loser.
I also had a low key weekend. Hung out with some friends. We had like a board game night and like a card night. And I brought this game back that I used to play with my friends all the time. It's called The Resistance. If you remember that game,
The Resistance.
Josh. The Resistance is this game where if you ever heard of the game Secret Hitler, it's just like that board game where there's a mission leader and you send people on the mission. They're spies and allies, and you have to like yell at each other and argue and lie to each other to like fail or pass the missions. It's like a game of deceit, pretty much, and it just creates this chaos at the table, and it is so much fun. So we played a lot of that, and then we played some Texas Hold'em, and I always like to think I'm like a really good poker player. I didn't think I won a single hand. I lost like 10 or 12 straight hands.
I'm terrible at poker.
Yeah, I suck.
No wooden spoon karaoke?
No wooden spoon karaoke this weekend. I wish, though. That was fun. But yeah, that's it. I had a really boring ass weekend. Saturday continued rewatching The Walking Dead. Sunday just glued football all day.
You could have left that part out, Kaluchi.
Yeah, you gotta stop telling us that because we're just gonna tear you apart for that. Yeah, I mean, really, Kaluchi? You have Andor, Lord of the Rings. You have a plethora of TV shows and movies that you still have not seen. And you're going to go back and continue to force yourself to watch The Walking Dead?
There is no forcing. The first few seasons of Walking Dead are so good. And
Where are you at in them?
Lori just died. So, like, they just got to the prison. The birth was a failure.
That show gave me panic attacks because all it is people dying and their lives are shit. But show...
You know what it reminded me of? Do you remember one of the biggest fights we ever got into or arguments we ever got into? I was a massive Walking Dead fan. Like, more than anything, it was my favorite show in the world. I used to tell all my friends about it. Josh watched this one episode, and he noticed that there was no kickback on the guns when they were shooting the zombies. And he was like, Andrew, the show is so fake. I can't believe it. There's no kickbacks on the guns. It's clearly CGI. And I lost it. Like, we got into a massive argument on Xbox over it because of the guns not having kickback. And then when I got to that part in the show, I was like, wow, that looks like shit. Like, it looks so unrealistic. Like, now that I watch it, like, 10 years later, I'm like, wow, that's bad.
That's actually pretty funny. Wow. So you can see after 10 years.
Yeah. I no longer have the blinders on.
Well, to be fair, I was probably being a little bit of a hardo. You know, it's your that was your favorite show. There's no question about it. You know,
yeah. I'm trying to remember what I think because you wanted to, I think it was at the same time Vikings was coming out. So like you were trying to argue about which show was better.
My mom and I watched The Walking Dead for a while, but we realized that we were burning hours of our life away. Yeah. So we were like, okay.
Yeah, I know I am. I'm still doing it. Anyways, that's going to wrap up the weekend roundup. We'll get into some golf stuff. I got a couple things here, kind of LIV related actually. So if you guys recall, we've discussed this on the podcast, but Tiger Woods had come out and said back in July, like, oh, the LIV, the players in the LIV have no incentive because even the last place guy's making like 140 grand, yada, 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 is, upset about the guaranteed money. Well, this week, Pat Perez was on the Son of a Butch podcast, and he said he just started coming at Tiger Woods. He was like, he said that's the stupidest shit he's ever heard. And he starts ripping on Tiger Woods for signing a mega deal right out of college with Nike. So he's like, how dare Tiger say anything about incentive when it comes to money, because he was rich from the get-go playing golf. So your guys' thoughts on that?
Well, I mean, it's always difficult. Like if Jeff Bezos came down right now and started talking about what a middle-aged middle income families should be spending money on, or what they should be, how their income should be handled. It's like the pot calling the kettle black. And I was as much of an old man as I sound saying because that's what my dad says.
I have never heard that.
You have never heard that?
I really?
Oh, okay.
What is it?
The pot calling the kettle black.
The pot calling the
I don't even understand it, but
it's an old timey saying.
I think it means that like the handle on the pot is attached to the pot, but the pot is a separate entity, and when it I don't know what the fuck I'm saying. Anyways, the point is, I think Tiger Woods has been the number one. I don't even think we can say the number one golfer. He's like the number one. He's probably a top 5 athlete of all time.
In terms of money?
In terms of money, in terms of winning, in terms of success, in terms of women. No. But like seriously, the guy's had, I'm not saying his upbringing wasn't tough, because it obviously was if you know anything about his story from the outside in. But I mean, dude, he was built for it. He was trained for it. He was committed to it. And he won early on, like that guy was saying. So I kind of agree. Like, I don't really think, how about having some player who didn't make it because they didn't have the money to make it, talk about it, you know?
Yeah, that's kind of what Pat Perez talks about on this podcast. He's saying, and Pat Perez, is, if you don't know him, he's a golfer on the LIV tour. He's pretty much saying like this tournament is so everyone can make a living. Like, we don't have to be the best of the best to earn a living doing what we're good at.
What is this tournament?
No, it's just he calls out the fact that like no tournament in the PGA Tour is paying a $4 million payout. The LIV is. Tiger's whole thing was that there should be no money prize for the last place player. In LIV, every LIV event, the last place person still gets a big payout.
There's
like
only one thing I would say in pro Tiger sentiment. Isn't even that I think it's justified what he's saying. I think that you're talking to guys like him and Michael Jordan the only reason that they ever won the way they did is because somewhere deep inside, their willingness and desire to compete is the core of what made them successful.
Yeah.
Like, arguably, Tiger isn't Tiger if he doesn't have that hunger to compete to be the best.
Correct.
So, to him, I think he's saying that part of what makes golf great is the element of desire to compete and be the best. And the best wins the spoils. And that's fair, but it must have been easy being the best for fucking 25-year career that netted him over $1 billion in revenue.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not, sometimes you do everything you can do in this world and you don't make it. So I think it's unfair for him to speak on.
Yeah. Will, you got anything on this?
No, I mean, that's kind of why I kicked it over to Josh, because I think I have the same exact standpoint on it.
Yeah.
I think it's just a bunch of rich guys bitching at each other, and I'm just like, okay, like, we'll just play some fucking golf.
Well, speaking of rich guys bitching at each other, Rory Mcllroy came out today, and the way they talk about it, like in their conferences, I think is so crazy. He goes, peace talks will only begin if Greg Norman steps away. And it's like, you guys sound like you're at war right now.
Well, you do remember that in 1994, Greg Norman tried to do this exact thing, and the PGA did some shady shit and got it shut down, and there was no repercussions on the PGA Tour for it. So with Greg Norman being the head of LIV now and having that gone through, I think there's automatically this just haste between the two, this rivalry between the two, and it starts with Greg Norman, and it starts in 1994. It didn't start last year whenever the LIV came about.
Yeah, so McIlroy is calling for Greg Norman's head. He's like, get him out of there, and then we'll talk, like, amongst all the players.
That's such a weird situation. I mean, Greg Norman, too, like, Greg Norman's an interesting one, too, because, like, not the easiest guy to fucking bitch and moan. He has one of the biggest retail brands in the world right now, or has for the last 30 years. The guy's made more money than the whole entire PGA Tour combined based off that one brand that he built. So for him, I don't understand the motivation, quite frankly. Maybe there's some deep-rooted shit there, for Greg Norman, but I have to be honest with you, like, the vibe that the LIV Tour is approaching with doesn't feel that influenced from the culture that's financing the league. Like, I'm seeing nothing but concerts and high life living and sort of team up kind of events. If they get their events maybe a little bit better and they hone in on the competitive element a bit more, and they also need some time. They need like a 5-year time frame of like, where, the Masters kind of events that put the league on the map,
I mean, LIV also, I think, just needs more players too. I mean, they literally came out and said like last week or 2 weeks ago that they're actively looking for 8 more players to join the LIV tour.
Really?
Yeah.
We'll see who's next to
They
go.
probably just start looking for names,
Right.
And keeping with the golf stuff, last week we mentioned the viral video that we put out on the T-Box Talk TikTok. SportsCenter is officially our enemy. They never reposted the TikTok on their Instagram, those fucking bastards. So
I think the worst part about it was I was so excited I went and followed SportsCenter on like all of my accounts, and then when they didn't repost it, I had to go back and unfollow SportsCenter. And
I mean, dude,
because I'm gonna be a little boy about it and do that.
Yeah,
I'm not showing you my support after this.
Yeah, they are so annoying though. Will they post every 2 minutes?
Oh yeah, they post like 15, 20 times a day.
Yeah, it's brutal, dude. I started to wonder. I was like, is that how accounts get big on Instagram? Like when they just basically roast their followers with so much content that they black out and just have to follow it. Yeah. Like it's just crazy.
Well,
dude.
it's all when you're big enough like that, they probably have a team of like 25 to 50 content curators who just go all over like the internet, like pull this video down, ask for permission, post it. Pop, 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 pop.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely didn't make sense that they wanted to post our shit.
I mean, like we talked about, I mean, like it really just comes down to ESPN's bottom line. Like I think that at the end of the day, like they realize that they're not only promoting our podcast, but they're promoting our business and our brand. So, I mean, for them, it's like all they give a shit about is money, and they're going to take actions that reflect that.
But I'll tell you this, Will, them not posting it made us go on a made specifically me go on a rampage and demand that it be posted on every platform we have.
Yeah.
And granted, on OMADA Golf, it didn't do that well, but man, I didn't realize how viral that video went on T-Box Talk Instagram. That last night when I checked in after a while had 70,000 shares.
It's got 75K shares and almost 900,000 views right now.
75,000 shares. I've never seen that.
It's got 18,000 likes. We 8x'd our fucking likes with shit like shares. Like how you never see. I mean, you do see that, but it's really it's gratifying for us to see that because I would rather a share over a like.
100%.
Yeah, dude, that's true viral. If you get like likes are one thing, and but dude, think about it. That post went viral on TikTok and Instagram. Why? Was it because of the likes? Not really. I mean, the likes maybe, but the shares on both those platforms were insane. So, and to anybody that is new to listening to our podcast, we appreciate you being here, and all we want to do is entertain, and we're going to be talking about season 2 of T-Box Talk, where we start to bring on different guests and really start to ramp up and make this a really special event to both hear about people's golf games and to hopefully bring people down the comedy avenue that we've been on for the last, I don't even know how long, 25 episodes or so.
Yeah, we have a whole lot of fun doing that. It's episode 31. So we've had a ton of fun doing this podcast, and we are going to keep doing it, only improving it from here on out. It's going to be freaking awesome.
Just do me a favor and give us a rating on Spotify if you have a moment.
Please do. Yes.
Means a lot to us. 5 stars.
And tell one friend.
Tell one friend.
Tell one friend. Tell one friend or family member.
Yep. Tell them we're going to be the next big thing since Tiger Woods.
Moving on to some football recap from the week. Interesting week in football. The Vikings-Bills game was one of the greatest regular season games I've ever seen in my life. I even was showing Will the catch from Justin Jefferson, which was freaking incredible. And then the Bills get the ball. The game is over. They just got to, QB sneak it like 1 inch to get out of the end zone. And they fumbled the snap, and the Vikings score a touchdown off the fumbled snap. We go to overtime. Bills obviously went down, tied the game with 40 seconds because Josh Allen's a beast. And then Vikings field goal, Bills interception, game over. It's incredible. Absolutely incredible game. Couple other things. So, Will, you might find this interesting. The Indianapolis Colts, the team that the Patriots manhandled 2 weeks ago, They fire their head coach, right? And now usually when an NFL team fires their head coach, they pick a guy on their staff, whether it be the offensive coordinator, the defensive coordinator, special teams coach, QB's coach, linebackers coach. There's like 20 coaches on each team for each position, for each group, everything. Usually when the head coach gets fired, one of those guys steps up to become an interim head coach. What that means is like you're a temporary head coach.
Yeah.
You might get extended. You might not. Whatever. It's usually promote from within. What the Colts did that ruptured the NFL is they took a former player, Jeff Saturday, who used to be their center, and they were just like, by the way, he's never coached a single play. He's never coached in college, high school, or NFL. They're like, hey, you want to come coach the team? Head coach? He's like, yeah. And they hired him as a head coach. And they overlooked everybody on the team. And now I kind of think it's bullshit because like I feel bad for the other staff members who maybe deserved a shot to be the interim head coach, and the NFL world has gone crazy with it. Like all the reporters are like, this is an outrage, this is a disgrace to the NFL, blah blah blah.
I definitely saw a lot on that where people were like saying that it was they felt like it was some kind of not an insult, but it was an insult
it's
to
an
football.
insult.
What's his name? Yeah. Gary Sunday or
Jeff
something?
Jeff
Saturday.
Gary Sunday.
All right,
Gary Sunday, Monday,
Jeff
Tuesday.
Saturday, and all the coaches on the Indianapolis coach should just do a locker room fight club, and then whoever wins gets to be the coach.
I agree. I like that.
But guess what? He fucking won. They beat the Raiders.
And what happened in the
just beat 'em
previous?
up.
What's their record, Kluge? They were getting their asses handed to them this
Who,
season.
the Colts?
Yeah.
The Colts are now 4-6.
Yeah, I mean, hard to imagine that guy having that much to do with.
Well, no. So
the
what's
victory.
what's so funny is 3 days before they hired him, he was just sitting on his couch watching football like a normal person, and he tweeted out, "Wow, the Raiders are awful." 3 days later, he gets hired. 2 days later, his first opponent is the Las Vegas Raiders. And so now that tweet went like re-viral. It's so funny.
Can't believe that though.
Yeah, he beat him.
Maybe they did that on purpose. They just wanted to humiliate him.
They must have really hated that head coach though, huh?
Frank Reich?
Yeah.
He sucked. Yeah, he pulled Matt Ryan. He put in Sam Ehlinger. Never was going to work. But our boy, Josh McDaniels, old offensive coordinator for the Patriots, he is now 2-6 or 2-7 as a Raiders head. Yeah, he's 2-7 as a Raiders head coach. That is terrible. And he's probably going to get fired very soon.
Damn.
So you feel bad for him. And the Bucks and the Packers both got big wins. So the old men are back to winning, Brady and Rodgers. So did you catch any of the Germany game?
No, I didn't.
It was very cool.
Really?
The stadium was fucking sick.
Damn.
Yeah. First ever game in Munich, Germany. It was really, really cool.
I did go 4-5 in the pool, and I'm first.
4 for 5?
4 for 5. Sorry.
Is anyone getting egged this week?
I still owe an egg.
Coluccio, dude, there's like 10 people who owe eggs, and I think people have really stopped being on time with it. Like I set a bad example. I did the best egg video.
Yeah, we talked about it last week.
We need to just show it. It just needs to be out.
Someone needs to go out in their
backyard. Video
backyard.
podcast. If you go to last week's video podcast,
is it really?
It's in there.
Did you do a reel yet? Or
no, I don't think I put it in the video podcast, but I haven't done the reel yet. I'm gonna do that soon though.
Okay.
I'm very excited.
Someone needs to go out in their backyard and throw the egg up as high as they can and stand under it.
That's a good one, Will.
See, I don't know if I want to do that because what if the egg doesn't break?
The egg will break.
The egg will break. That was a Buckner. He had the frozen egg. Remember?
Yeah. Well, so what if I have a frozen egg?
You won't have a frozen egg.
Buckner didn't know he had a frozen egg.
Dude, I've never seen a frozen egg in my fucking life.
Yeah,
I don't know where he...
Fridge is turned down to
sub-zero
temperatures.
Yeah, I just turn your fridge down from like sub-zero. Then don't, you know what I'm saying?
If your eggs are frozen, everything else is frozen.
You know what would be funny is if it didn't break and you actually gave yourself an egg on your head of like a welted problem.
Yeah, I just was not in the mood to just smash an egg over my head this weekend, so I didn't do it.
You've done a lot of eggs, Galucci.
I've already had to do 2. This is going to be my 3rd egg.
Costco's going to run out.
Do you know the mess it makes in your shower?
No, because I don't smash eggs on my head in the shower.
Well, dude, it was horrible.
Yeah, every morning. It just
my drain nearly got entirely filled. Like I actually nearly almost had to call a plumber to fix my drain because I broke 2 eggs over my head. And in my fucking stupid brain, I thought that maybe you could just crush the shell up and then shove it down the drain, and it would just like the water would carry it.
It's got like a liner on the inside of the shell. Yeah.
Exactly, and it didn't really work. I got stuck. It started flooding, and then I panicked and I just took like a toothbrush or something and jammed it down the drain.
I just put a piece of paper towel down. I'm a veteran egger though. I'm a veteran egg guy. But yeah, it's gonna wrap up football. Josh loses again in fantasy.
Yeah, I
starting to fall off the
I
wagon
lost
there,
to the
bud.
guy he deserved to win. I mean, to be honest with you, he's going to win our league. There's no question in my mind that unless he has a major injury, he's going to win. I mean, I thought my team was a lot better than it was, or for a while it was. It's like been fantasy twilight zone this whole year, dude. Like you got these players who are flagship, like first round draft pick type players that are putting up either no points or 3 points or less than 10 points. Like DeAndre Swift, what are you doing? You know, and I won't need to go down my whole roster, but dude, between injuries and just lack of performances, it's just like weird. I don't know. You can't.
And just announced today, Cooper Kupp season-ending ankle surgery.
Crazy. Marquise Brown, gone. He's been on the IR for like the whole season. He's my best player.
I don't think he's coming back. I'm not sure though. But yeah, that's going to wrap up football talk. It was a great week. Big Patriots-Jets game coming up this weekend. I'm trying to get tickets for me and Josh, but those motherfuckers over at Ticketmaster. I check every single app every day, and I just can't get good prices. So Game Time, sponsor us or something. Give me free tickets.
Game Time.
Let's move on to Show and Tell. This is a recurring segment that we have. Better viewed in the YouTube episode, so trying to get some more people over to our YouTube, but we're going to show off some things, tell some things. Will, do you have anything?
I do.
All right,
do.
Will.
I've got a little treat. Got a little treat here.
Okay.
I snuck this in here. It's my cooler.
Oh,
Hear this
wow.
ASMR. Oh, I'm doing it wrong.
Will has a cooler. He's opened the cooler.
Know, I'm a connoisseur of rare snacks and drinks.
Rare snacks and
so
drinks.
I have some Fanta peach jasmine soda right here.
What
this is
the
from
hell is that?
This is a product of China actually. And if you guys would like to try it, I also brought cups.
I would love to try that.
All right, cool. So,
That's pretty wild.
Is that alcoholic or no?
No, it's not alcoholic.
It's
yeah,
just
how
soda?
dare you ask that
Colucci.
question?
I'm drinking at work. You know, a little tasty poo in here.
I'm gonna be honest. I don't really want to try
Yeah,
that.
shut up.
All right, Colucci.
I don't like berry flavors very much.
Oh, I do not like. Right off the rip, hate the smell. But so what is this, Will?
All right, so this is Fanta jasmine peach flavor from China.
Oh, I can see over the Chinese verbiage on the bottle. There's a leaf.
They also slap an English sticker on here so I can understand like what
That's
actually
so
it
funny,
is.
Will.
But here, cheers, enjoy it.
Actually, honestly, very good.
Don't hate it.
Like fantastic.
Don't hate it. Never had this one before. Don't hate it.
No,
Is it too sugary?
It's kind of like
I don't think it's that sugary at all.
it's very peachy.
Yeah,
It's like
you should try this.
It's like a
good.
floral peach.
Try it.
No, I'm all right.
Are you kidding me?
You made us eat. You made us eat your disgusting mooncakes.
That's true.
So, what kind of store do you buy this stuff at?
So actually, believe it or not, a new snack store, exotic snack store, opened up the road on Mineral Spring in North Providence. It's called Pop Shop.
So you're just a big get exotic snacks guy?
Well, yeah, I wanted to get a few snacks and drinks for Salem because we were going to be staying in a hotel, and I figured it's probably good to have some snacks and drinks. So I went in there and spent some money, and I'm just kind of just taking care of what I have left over right now.
All right, that was very cool. That was very creative. I like that.
Yeah.
That was very good, Will.
All right, my turn for show and tell. Now this might be my prized possession. This is my Xbox Series X Elite Series 2 controller. And I've been playing a lot of Call of Duty lately, and I keep telling Josh every single day about my new controller, the Elite Series 2. And these retail for about $175. So it's almost the price of half of a new Xbox. But this is the case that it comes in. And just, if you notice right off the rip in the front, there's that charging port because you charge the controller by plugging it into the case. And so like it magnets right there, and then it charges this block. And then so the controller comes with 4 paddles on the back, and you can remove them.
I feel it.
Or leave them in. Yeah, I'm going to give it to you in a second. I just want to show it off for a second.
My buddy had one of these in college.
Yeah. And like there's grips, and then the triggers you can make so you only have to press it down like a hair. And yeah, it's very cool.
And you can program the buttons on the back. The triggers on the back.
So there's 4 paddles on the back, and what you can do is you can make each one of them do a different thing. So for Call of Duty, I do run, jump, switch weapon, and reload. And so I never have to move my right thumb off of the buttons. I can play with my 4 fingers in the back of the controller and do 10 different things at once.
It would take a little bit to get used to
You pretty much have to relearn how to play video games if you want to play with this controller. I freaking love it. And then it comes with a bunch of accessories. So you can change the joysticks on it. You can change the D-pad. There's 4 different joysticks. A little tool for it, and then you can put your paddles in there and take the paddles out and just play it as a regular controller. And there's 3 different settings.
That's pretty cool, Kaluj.
It's nice. Feels quality. Did Xbox controllers get smaller over the years?
Yes.
Or is it just me?
Yes, they did.
Okay, I was going to say, it feels small in my hands. I mean, I haven't held an Xbox controller in a while.
Yeah, and there's a nice grip on it too. So yeah, the Elite Series 2 controller, if you have one at home, you know what I'm talking about. It changes your gaming experience, and it's literally my favorite thing ever. I actually left home today, and I really wanted to show this off. I realized I forgot it, so I drove all the way home and got it. Josh, you got anything?
All right, so I don't have something physical, but I did. Okay. There was something hilarious that happened to me over the weekend that I'll show. Is the other night, so you guys know that I was doing a deep dive on financials, and again, we just continue. We talk about products a lot, and we're coming out with new stuff. But the other night, I'm just chilling there, and I was what our representative out in China was communicating with me, and out of nowhere, I just get thrown into a random group message with 7 people from China, and in that group message, they just start hammering me with hieroglyphics, and I literally
Mandarin characters.
Mandarin, yeah.
Hieroglyphics. Yeah, I mean, to me, it would have been my hieroglyphics, but you can just look that. So I didn't have time to do show and tell, but I did have time to try to decipher Chinese hieroglyphics that were being sent in from 7 different people. And I'll show the camera. I'll show Will first, but this is what it's like. That's what it's like.
Sounds like they wanted you to join a meeting. Let's get Angus in here. He knows how to say water, right?
He knows how to order cold water.
I love it. Hello, everyone. I'm so sorry to ask this. We'll be able to postpone our meeting. Same meeting. I knew it.
Yeah, so Josh will send me a screenshot. I'll post it on the YouTube.
I just made more work for Kaluji now when he chops this up. Sorry about that, Kaluji.
It's okay. It's easy. But yeah, show and tell. Raving success.
So good.
All right, let's get into our final segment of the day before we might do some behind OMADA stuff. But stand-up / observation. So I want to rework the stand-up segment because what you did a couple weeks ago was awesome when you had your points of people doing weird shit and kind of bouncing stuff off of each other. So I kind of want to do that with this. And so I have a few that I'll rattle off right off the bat, and then we can just keep going around for whoever got anything. So my first thing, we have talked about on this podcast about how there's a weird obsession with true crime in America. And for some reason, people love just making shows about true crime and people get off to it. It's fucked up. I don't understand why these people are getting so much fame and coverage. Well, there's a new one coming out, and it's Casey Anthony, the Casey Anthony documentary. Do you guys remember Casey Anthony?
Yeah.
That was the biggest when I was a younger kid.
I don't know who that
Casey Anthony was the woman who...
She killed, her kid, right?
Allegedly. She was found innocent. But it was, the biggest trial ever. It was all over the news every single day.
Kaluji, The first thing on your stand-up list is a woman who killed her child.
Well, no, they're making a documentary about her. I'm so sick of the true crime.
Well,
stuff.
I heard that for this documentary, maybe this is wrong, but she broke her like silence for the first time in like 3 years or something like that.
Yeah, but why is she coming back into the spotlight? Keep her out. She went into witness protection. Like, she started a new life. Fuck her. Like,
yeah, fuck her.
We don't need this. And I don't understand why. And Netflix, I don't know who's carrying the documentary, but they're like, oh, money. And it's like so fucking annoying.
Well, it's like the same reason why I think like people are so like, and maybe this is just an older generation thing, but people are so like addicted to watching the news is because it's all fear mongering.
Yes.
Like humans, I guess, are just inherently attracted to watching things that are based on fear mongering. And that's the exact reason why I don't watch the news.
Yeah, exactly.
So like I said, I think it's a generational thing. But again, like when it's put in a spotlight like that, it's a little bit different than like the 6 p.m. news. So
yeah. So that's my first thing. It's really mind boggling to me that these shows are getting made. My second thing. And I don't know where this comes from. And I wonder if there's an older generation that does this. But for some reason, I keep sitting crisscross applesauce whenever I do things. And I totally forget that I'm sitting crisscross applesauce. And then I can't feel anything below my knees.
Yeah, I'll just hear across the office, stop sitting on your leg, Andrew.
Yeah, I do talk to myself a lot. That is.
Really?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I sit, especially
you
when
were doing it in the 2.5 hour meeting yesterday.
Yeah.
You're sitting on your leg the whole time.
Yeah, and then when I get up, I like fall over. But it happens especially when I'm playing video games. I just sit like crisscross applesauce, and I like get up, and I don't have any feeling below my knees.
Yeah, you're like a little Italian pretzel, dude, all day long.
I would say like a similar thing, but like 9 times out of 10 in the morning, if I'm going number 2, like I automatically know my legs are gonna fall asleep because I've been sitting there for so long. And I continue to do it, like my legs are staticky, and I'll continue to sit there.
Yeah.
And then I have to like do a lap around the house to get like feeling back in my legs.
Oh,
so I've just been chilling for a half hour.
That happens to me literally every day.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I get lost on my phone, and then the next thing I know, I have pins and needles running down my legs. So can't be too good for you. And then my last thing is, I don't know if you guys do this or not. When you see somebody out in public that like you don't want to like, all right, let's say you're at work and you're going to pick up food or pick up lunch, and you see somebody you know, are you avoiding them or are you talking to them?
Avoiding.
I'm also avoiding.
It depends on who it is.
I think sometimes it's just like, oh, geez, I don't want to get into this conversation right now. Like, for example, today.
That would be indicative of social anxiety, Andrew.
You do. I mean, Josh does have a good point. Like, if I see like one of my good buddies from school or something, like I'll go over and talk to them.
No, that's different, I think. I'm talking about
just someone you know.
So today I was just at Chipotle, right? And I saw somebody who works in this building. I won't name them, but I saw somebody who works in this building, and I was like, fuck.
You better watch out, because if they hear that you saw them and they saw you,
they're going to know you.
Yeah, they're going to know you were talking shit, Kaluch.
I'm not talking shit. I just say it's like sometimes like I just don't want to go say hello. I don't know. It's just like I'm like, so like I don't know if
they're going to hunt you down, dude.
Well, it sounds like Will's on my side though. You're clearly not, cuz
I know, I get it, but like, sometimes we need to all go to therapy and figure out why we're so socially anxious, and then we can talk to people again instead of talking to fifth graders on fucking Xbox yelling bad words that they shouldn't be saying.
I think like partially for me, it's like it's just like an introverted thing. But like I'm also like I need to be at this place at this time, and if I sit here and talk to you for 20 minutes or a half hour in the grocery store, then like now I've got anxiety because I'm off schedule right now. And you guys know how regimented I am.
Well, I think,
so,
yeah, that's just because you're regimented as fuck.
That's what we call, what do you call it? OCD.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, like, that's why when I say, like, not social anxiety, but like all you gotta do is just tell them you have somewhere going, guys. You don't have nobody's had you sign a contract saying I have to engage in a 30-minute conversation. Like people are pretty understanding. I think if you're just like, yeah, I gotta run, I gotta go back to work, or I gotta go back to my girlfriend, or whatever.
Yeah, see, it ain't that simple.
I gotta go play Xbox. I gotta go order chops.
My mozzarella sticks are in the air fryer.
My mozzarella sticks are gonna go cold.
I might do chops tonight. Now you put that in my head.
That was cute though, Colucci. So we got crossed legs and afraid to talk to people.
We got
Casey Anthony.
Child murderer.
Casey
sitting
Anthony.
crisscross applesauce.
Okay, that's the kind of guy we're dealing with here. A fucking maniac on the podcast.
I never said I was sane. I never said that. I never said I was normal. Will, you got anything going?
Yeah, I got one thing here, and ironically enough, I thought of this last night, like laying in bed at 10 p.m. And it's kind of just going to pose this to you guys and like see if you've ever maybe thought about this, but I don't think a lot of people have ever considered the dangers of live baseball. And you know, this concept doesn't really exist in soccer, basketball, or tennis or golf. So like when you enter a baseball stadium, you're automatically putting yourself at risk for taking a ball to the dome.
Correct.
And on average, a ball comes off a baseball bat at 87 to 90 miles per hour. So I'll put that stat out there. And I'm like saying like, sure, it couldn't happen in tennis or golf, you know, if a rogue ball heads into the spectators, but they're not seating you directly in the line of fire. Like you're not sitting on the third baseline or the first baseline or in the stands where every baseball player wants to hit the ball. They want to hit a home run at you.
Yeah.
So that's one thing. But let me just say this. According to a report, some report that I found from 2012 to 2019, more than 800 people have been injured by baseballs at a baseball game. So I don't know. I thought that was a weird concept that like if you go to a baseball game, like you could get hit at any point with a 90-mile-an-hour ball to the head, but like at any other sport, like you're never putting yourself directly in the line of fire because like you're not sitting where someone would hit you directly.
Yeah, that is kind of an odd thing.
So the reason that stat ends in 2019 is that they made it a thing that baseball stadiums now have to put a net pretty much all the way down the first base line, because too many people were getting severely hurt.
Because like that, I feel like is the more dangerous part,
It's
like
the
third
line.
base line or first base line.
It's because it's foul balls.
Right.
Foul balls usually come off faster because it's like if I'm late on a pitch, that means that pitch is probably 100 miles an hour.
Yeah.
Hitting a baseball bat, probably launching at 95 miles an hour directly into the stands.
But I got to imagine getting hit by a home run ball isn't going to feel good either.
I don't know about that actually, because it's so much time in the air traveled that like, and it's usually kind of like a pop fly that you can try to catch it with your hands. So I don't know about that, but you are right. Baseball games are crazy dangerous. And what's funny about it is nobody really pays attention at a baseball game. When you go to a baseball game, it's more of a social thing with baseball kind of happening.
Yeah, yeah.
Unless it's like the playoffs where you're looking at every pitch. Most baseball games, like me and you, just like sitting down having a beer with the baseball game.
Yeah, because you know it's a long event, and it's so that I just had that weird. That just came to me last night, and I felt I needed to share that because I've only been to one baseball game in my life, but like I don't want to get hit in the head with a baseball.
Yeah, so I guess not only is it, you know, you're either going to die from the baseball or you're going to die from boredom. It's one of the two.
And also, it reminds me of like...
Hopefully the baseball.
Yeah, I'll take the baseball over the boredom, dude, all day long.
Get me out of there in the fourth inning.
Get me out of there in the fourth.
The best way to do baseball is go in like the fourth inning. Go in like the fourth or fifth inning and then just catch the end of the game. It's a good time.
I was remembering the first baseball game I ever went to was Red Sox versus Tampa Bay Devil Rays in 2017, and they won like 14-2, and we left like in the sixth inning or something like that. Or no, I'm wrong. My dad wanted to leave in the sixth inning, and I said, no, I'm staying here until the ninth inning, and there was no one left in the stadium because it was pouring rain, and they were up by 12 runs.
Yeah, that's a disaster. It kind of reminds me like at football games, like there's all those guys on the sideline trying to get the perfect pictures and the perfect shots, and they're holding the audio things, and they're so committed to their job to get the perfect shot of like a play happening in front of them that they'll just let themselves get absolutely steamrolled by like a 300-pound linebacker. And it's fucking hilarious. If you ever watch it online.
Yeah, I've seen that before.
Like these guys on the sidelines trying to get the perfect shot of the audio, they just get drilled all the time. And it
end zone guys too.
Yeah, they get drilled, dude. It's crazy. Josh, you got any observations?
Oh, I got one. I got a couple actually, but you know, since when did it become a fucking crime to cough.
When COVID started.
Yes.
Yeah.
Since
the world
when
shut down.
did it become a fucking crime to exist in this known universe with some type of minor sickness, dude?
And as an allergy guy, you get the brunt of this.
Is it, I found out I was on a plane and I was sick the week before, very sick, when I went to Alabama a couple weeks ago. And I remember just like walking through the plane and just being like literally holding my lungs that were in dire need of a cough.
Yeah.
And I wasn't sick. I was on the tail end of it. And I tested negative for COVID.
You also have asthma though, right?
I do.
Yeah.
And so I get on the plane, like we're flying, and I'm coughing quietly.
Yeah.
And some girl, I kid you not, sits up, looks back at me through the crack of the crevice of the seat, and gives me the most bad look I've ever gotten out of somebody in my life, dude, of disapproval. And you know what I found out too, which was funny? I turned my mom looked over and goes, turn the fucking fan off of the ceiling and you might be okay. Like you're probably just coughing from that. Didn't cough a single rest of the trip.
Really?
What?
So wasn't even sick.
I can't fly without that fan on.
Neither can I normally, but like for whatever reason, like my asthma from having been sick was weakened, and that air made me cough. And that lady who gave me the death stare, I mean, dude, I was just existing, and it's just out of control.
You're right though. Like every time you're out in public now, even at Stop and
You're
Shop
like
or
worried
something.
about coughing.
Yeah. When's the last
you get a
time you
little
like
tickle.
sneezed and you sneezed and like 13 people around you like jumped 2 feet and just like
They
obeyed?
just eyeball you.
Yeah,
like,
yeah, the
how
eyeballs.
fucking dare you?
Yeah, the eyeballs have been rolling. It's fucking. I mean, it's crazy. It's out of control. That's pretty much it. That's all I really wanted to say. I don't even need to go further than that, dude. We're humans. We get sick, and there's some lady that is gonna give me the death stare on a plane because I'm just being human.
I went to my grandfather's memorial mass, and it was like my first time going to church in maybe 10 years, 12 years, and church is empty now. By the way, nobody going to church anymore. Not that surprised. And freaking, we're just there for the mass, and some random person who was there just for the mass coughed in the back. And I'm not kidding you. The 30 people who were at the mass, everyone's heads snapped around and stared this one guy dead in the eyes like, how fucking dare you?
Yeah.
And it was wild. I was like, oh my God, things have changed. Things have changed.
And I actually have another one that the more I think about it is like when I was on the plane. Help me understand how somebody gets on a plane, knows their seat, and then gets their fucking seat wrong. I don't get it. I don't understand.
Yeah, I'll tell you what it is. I bet you this is what they're doing. They're intentionally sitting in the seat that they want to sit.
No. This is not a conspiracy, Colucci.
No. Listen to me. Because a lot of people who like maybe might have social anxiety, like we were talking about, if you got to your seat and somebody was sitting in it, I wonder how many people would actually say, hey, you're in my fucking seat.
All of them.
All of them.
I would say. I mean, yeah. I think everyone
Where
would.
are you going to sit?
If you paid for a specific
Just
seat.
go find a seat.
You don't know which seats are open on the airplane. You can't. If your seat is in that's my point, is like it's not a social anxiety thing. It's like, hey, do you want to get on the plane and fly to your destination? You're going to have to say something. So like, I understand if you like, even though they do show you the image of like where the window is next to A, B, or C, but how do you get the row wrong?
Okay, well, sometimes the row is like in front of the row, so it looks like it's pointing to the wrong one. I will say that I've been duped by that before.
Okay, so what you're saying is that the entire like butt of my joke right now, or not really joke, but my my observation is you. You are the butt of the observation.
Listen, one time I sat in the wrong row. I was told I was in the wrong row. I really quickly just jumped back one row because like the way it's angled is like I thought it was this, but it was that one.
See, that to me, like, you know how you were saying social anxiety about talking to people? See, my social anxiety comes from the idea of me looking like such a fucking idiot that I got the seat wrong in my row that I checked 10 times before I got on the plane.
And now there's 40 people waiting to board. And you have to now disrupt all of that even more.
yeah, that's the best, Will. It's like the worst part about it is that not only do they get the seat wrong, but 9 times out of 10, the person who got the seat wrong can't maneuver out of the seat.
The captain comes on and he's like, all right, the big dumb animal standing in the aisle. Please return to your fucking seat.
Please return to your seat so we can turn this airplane on and actually do what we're here to do, because you just took 30 minutes to get out of the seat that you weren't even supposed to be in. And now there's a line of 82 people who can't get to their seats. That to me is the worst case scenario. And
well, I'm fast with it though. I quickly changed it.
That's true. A lot of people are not as quick as you.
Well, the people who were probably getting the seat wrong are probably not the most athletic young people. I mean, if that's what we're trying.
What are you trying to say, Andrew?
What are you trying to infer, Josh?
He says he doesn't help the elderly with their bags.
You don't like the elderly?
First of all, I was at Best Buy the other day. No, I was at Best Buy the other day, and this nice old woman was trying to check. She was trying to buy a computer. She was buying a computer for her grandson. And the fucking guy at the register was running her through the ringer about the specs of the computer like she had any idea what she was talking about, right? She was just like, this is the one my grandson told me to get, this exact one. Please just check me out. And this guy was like, well, you could get this one. And it's like, and she was like, no, just check me out. And this big ass computer puts it in her car. She's like, can you please help me put it in the car? And the guy's like, yeah, I'll call someone from the warehouse. And then I check out. I see her sitting there for like 2 minutes while I'm checking out. And I'm like, okay, these fucking assholes. Nobody's coming to help her. So I went and fucking put the computer in the car for her. I'm a good citizen.
Good job.
Fuck you guys. Telling me I don't like the elderly.
Golf clap.
A model fucking citizen over here. He's so nice to the random elderly people he meets in the store, but he can't go and say hello to a person he's known his whole life. You know?
No, I haven't known this person my whole life.
What?
The person I had it.
Okay, it's too late.
The person he saw in the last week that he's common folk with.
Yeah, it was awkward. Right. Anybody got any behind OMADA stuff?
Actually, you do have some, or maybe you announced it last time. But
what?
We're gonna be playing in the
Iceberg Open.
The Iceberg Open.
Yeah,
dude, it's getting cold out already. I don't know what this is actually an interesting topic. Is like, what is, you know, when you talk about cold golf or cold weather golf, I mean, what's
your cutoff? You know?
What's the cutoff, Will?
Like snow on the ground?
Yeah.
Like
45.
Like sub 20s?
Is it though, Colucci?
45.
It can't be 45 because it's like 45 out right now. So you're just like saying you wouldn't play golf outside right now.
You're just saying that you're not signing up for the Iceberg Open.
You're already signed up.
No, I'm playing in that for fun. I wouldn't willingly go.
Right. Okay. Well, all right.
I'm not willingly going and playing.
Chances are it's going to be sub 45 degrees in December.
So what are we handcuffing you to the cart?
No, but that's the point of that event. The point of the event is to play in the cold. It's fun.
Right. You're
saying like common round of golf.
No, like you text me on the weekend like, hey, want to go play golf? No, it's fucking 42 degrees outside.
You know what? There was one year I got you to not be like that, and you actually were playing a lot of. Well, to be fair, it was kind of a warm winter. That was
senior year.
Yeah,
it was awesome. Actually,
that was unreal. Those are some of my favorite rounds when we did that.
Yeah, we got very lucky.
I'm still playing every weekend. I got a tee time on Sunday.
I wanted to play.
Yeah. I play I don't think like it has to be under like 20 degrees for me to not play.
That's insane.
Did you say under 20 degrees?
Yeah, like that's my cutoff is like 20 degrees. I played around.
What kind of psychopath goes out in 20-degree weather and plays golf?
If I could find it on my phone right now, I literally have a memory from like, I don't know, maybe 2 or 3 years ago, and I was out playing golf, and it was 20. Yeah, see, here we go. Flashback from November 11th, 5 years ago, 29 degrees. I was out playing.
Jesus.
Boom. Facts. I provide facts.
How'd you even get the tee in the ground?
Yeah, that is kind of an issue actually.
Yeah,
but like
I know.
if it's sunny out and you're walking, like it really is. You don't really notice it that much. Like I know it sounds crazy, but like if you're out there exercising and you have the right clothes on, then it's really not. The tee thing is probably the
My
worst
biggest
part
thing.
of it.
It's funny. The worst thing for me actually is not even the weather. It's actually it's the hands.
Yeah.
Like I get worried because my hands start to go numb, and then the club will slip out of my hands, and I don't want to.
And it's actually funny. I'm not going to show it on the podcast, but the following Snapchat to the one I just showed you guys, the greens, that other thing is the greens are rock hard, so you can't hit in the greens because they'll bounce up as if they were pavement.
Yeah.
So there's a
hate
couple
that.
downsides to playing, obviously, in sub 40 or sub 20, but
Yeah, of course. But there's also downsides to playing when it's like 95, too.
right, exactly. I would rather play in sub 40 than over 80 degrees, to be honest with you.
I don't know about that. Well, that's going to wrap up T-Box Talk, episode 31. Thank you so much for listening. Why?
No, I just had delayed you did that so quickly, but then I realized he just said he would rather play in sub 20.
Sub 40.
Did you say sub 40?
I said sub 40.
Oh,
yeah.
I thought you said sub 20. I was like,
80.
I won't play in sub 20, yeah.
I was like, what, dude? The rest of the world plays in 80 plus degrees.
Will's an old man.
I fucking hate hot weather.
All right, fair enough. Hey, are you an Irishman?
Yeah. I'm full blood Irish, baby.
Are you really?
No. I'm actually, I did my genealogy. I'm 69% Irish, and I'm not making that up.
What's
so.
the other half?
It's like German and French and English, yeah.
Oh, wow, dude.
Interesting.
All right, sorry to interrupt your outro, Colucci. I just thought that was crazy what he said before, but
I did
I'm a
too.
crazy
it
guy.
still kind of is crazy that he would still prefer sub 40 degree weather playing golf than plus 80. That's 80 plus.
He's a crazy man. That's why I want to end this podcast
Fair
and
enough.
get out of this room.
Thank
Thank you so much for listening to T-Box Talk, episode 31. My name's Andrew, joined today by Josh and Will. Follow us along on Instagram at T-Box Talk Pod, on TikTok at T-Box Talk Pod. Follow along OMADA Golf as well. That is the host of T-Box Talk. Black Friday, Cyber Monday sales coming November 21st for the Tri-Lite. Get your Tri-Lite for $224.10 with code BFCM10. And there's going to be a big markdown on the website, so stay tuned for that. Thank you very much, everybody, and have a wonderful weekend.
See ya.